A new intelligence bulletin obtained by CBS News warns of the threat of violence as being, quote, likely heightened in the U.S. during the holiday events and throughout the winter. The Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the National Counterterrorism Center say the Israel-Hamas war has likely escalated the risk posed by lone offenders in particular. Officials say public gatherings, including those that are faith-based and First Amendment protected, are, quote, attractive due to their accessibility and what they symbolize. CBS News Chief National Affairs and Justice Correspondent Jeff Pegues joins us now. Jeff, talk to us about what other details does the bulletin provide?
Yeah, this is really sobering stuff. Just as you're trying to soak in the joy of the holidays, you have these really grim warnings from law enforcement. And the key behind it is that the FBI, DHS is essentially trying to inform the public about the potential threats that are out there. And one of the issues they're focused on is people, lone wolf actors, potentially looking for what they call simple weapons. These are the kinds of objects that you can get from anywhere. Of course, they're concerned about firearms as well, but it's these knives or even a car that they're concerned about. And here's why. It's hard to see that kind of threat coming. With a gun, you know where it's purchased in a lot of cases, you can trace it, but with a knife, with a car, it's hard to prevent something like that from happening. And again, what they're concerned about are these lone wolf actors. These are typically people who don't interact with a lot of other people, don't share their plans with a lot of other people or a group. And that's what makes it difficult to catch lone wolf actors, which is what they're concerned about here.
Jeff, given the amount of mass shootings that we've covered, one would imagine that there is always a threat for this. But the director of the FBI said earlier this month that he's never seen a time before when all of the threats have been elevated all at the same time, actually comparing it to a pre-9/11 moment in history. So how are officials responding, given how difficult or impossible it is to pass gun reform laws?
Well, the good thing is the fact that the FBI director is talking about these potential threats suggests that the FBI, DHS, and other national security agencies are engaged just in case there is some sort of act of violence. Remember, we've talked about this over the years, but pre-9/11, there were a lot of signs missed. So in this case, during this holiday season, as this war in the Middle East continues, the good sign is that federal law enforcement is paying attention to it. There have been Christmas attacks in the past, and in fact, years back, that was the annual threat, especially as it relates to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. We saw a lull in these kinds of warnings during the holiday season over the last 2 or 3 years. But when you have a triggering event like October 7th and then the continued war in the Middle East, it tends to, in some cases, unfortunately, radicalize people to take acts or at least take steps towards acts of violence. And that's what law enforcement is concerned about right now. They essentially want people, and I feel like a broken record saying this, but it's important, they want people to pay attention because they can't do it themselves. So if you see something, say something, that's what they always say.
I mean, as you mentioned, this has been a time historically for some of those attempts, and it's actually modified because of Christmas time attacks or attempted attacks, the way we even travel. So outside of all of those increased safety measures that we all experience when going through airports, how are officials saying people should stay safe at this time?
Well, you know, this is another recommendation that goes back to the days when ISIS or Al-Qaeda was a threat here in the U.S. And that is when you're in a public space or in a large gathering, just pay attention to your surroundings. Those are the types of things that, again, are easy to do. So pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure that you're aware of exits. And then, of course, run, hide, fight is that mantra that we hear over and over again, especially related to acts of violence, including mass shootings.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have all of those awarenesses active at all times. Jeff Pegues, thank you so much.
My pleasure.